siyakhuleka kwabalele siyakhuleka makhosini akhuleka kwabalele siyakhuleka makhosini
namuhla mesenza live stream asi live stream phela akusana whatever isikolo sikamkhashwa ebasinika isivumo basivumela ukuthi sikhona ukuhlala esihlalweni sikhona ukuvuselela nokwakha nokuphilisa abantwana bedlozi ngoba sonke singabantwana bedlozi sanibonani thokozani bogogo lapho ekhaya. Are we getting hellos and waves? Because then we know we've got people with us. And Msuzo, you should sing. Your voice is beautiful. Uploaded so every time we open up with song, actually siyakhuleka because sisibiza bokoko na ukoko mkhulu. As you always know that I say that this knowledge or this wisdom or these messages that I'm sharing, they are not Dineo's messages. They don't come from a place of my ego or my own intellect, but they come from a place of spirit and divinity where abokoko nabomkhulu are at, because some of the things I say I do not know nami ukuthi ngizazela kuphi, but they just come because spirit wants to pass on messages that it wants to pass on to us at this time, at this moment, as people who are trying to navigate our way. And remember, as I always say, with conversations with me, they are really not conversations based on expertise. They're not advice that you have to take it as something that you would have to apply. It's guidance. You take what suits you and what feeds you. But some people still need to seek professional help, because don't take what you're going to ask me and then take it as a proper diagnosis and what I'm saying as a proper full, a treatment schedule of yours. So we're just giving guidance so that we can actually have light bulb moments, expand our view. And I think, hey, Mbuyile Jemeni, Mbuyile Nomkhulu Mkhashwa and the team, and we did our thing, and Sabonga for the love and support that you guys showed us. It's amazing how the world is so hungry for who we are, because everybody remembers that their essence connects them to this continent, but as people of this continent, because we've got it all, sometimes we don't pay attention to actually the wealth and amount of spiritedness that we have, that others are seeking and others are needing. So Germany was beautiful, and of course Paris was delicious, and was there. It was a great time as well. And for me, traveling, it's a great thing because it expands your worldview. It actually makes you see the world as a much bigger place than your own reality, and it shows you how infinite and how many possibilities and opportunities that the universe can actually offer us. It takes you out of your own little bubble of the world, and it takes you out of a place where you think everything is stuck here, and then you could see actually how things expand and grow. So tonight we are discussing, and I'm sorry for the early, because normally we do it at 8, but I have something at 8, so I thought let's do it. Let me honor the once a month at least at 8 on the last Tuesday of the month, and then we said we're gonna do Thursday of the second week of the month. So next month, midweek Thursday, we're gonna have another live stream. So tonight's conversation we're gonna have is about soulmate relationship. Isn't that juicy? You know, and it's so interesting when we speak of matters of the heart and relationships. You'll find that there's a lot of women that tune in, and guys feel like I asindo today's zamatando and lovey-dovey stuff. It's for women, but who are we in relationship with? I mean, we're in relationship with all sexes, right? We're not only in relationship with ourselves, but we're in relationship with the other, and the other, it could be a man or could be a woman. You know, gender doesn't really determine Guti we should or should not be in relationship. So let me maybe explain what I mean by soulmate. Because we are here as people, because I'm talking to people right now, who have come from what we call the spirit world. Who is in the spirit world is source energy. Some people call that God. Some people call it Allah. There's many names for source. Some call it universe. You know, I call it by many names. Some people call it being. So that is where source is. That's where creation happens. So in creation is the spirit world. So whenever we as souls have to incarnate or come into the physical world as human beings, we make agreements at that level. And those are called soul agreements. So at spirit level, we are all interconnected. We are all one. It's like one source expanding itself. It's like God being the sun and we being the sun rays of God. So when we incarnate and come here, so we create soul contracts. So what are soul contracts? Those are agreements of why are you coming in the very first place. You can't rock up without understanding your mandate. Plus we are heading towards election years. So what is your mandate as a soul? Because your mandate determines the body that you're going to come into. It determines the family. It determines the race and the gender. And now we know sexuality and a whole lot of other things are determined because of what you are here to fulfill, which we call a soul contract or a soul purpose or a mission or ngesintu sithi ubizo lwakho kuyini. Sonke sinobizo irrespective of what that ubizo is. And our bizo or our calling is to actually add value and aid the world. So that's why we come and incarnate and we become physical beings. Focus. Facebook. So when we come and we make agreements and then we land and we are born into families and we are born into systems that actually are going to help us fulfill our soul contracts. And when I speak like that, I speak in an affirmative way because the assumption would be, Guti, everything in spirit world is what is. In the spirit world, there is no wrong and there is no right. In the spirit world, things are as is. It's in this consciousness level, which is the human form, where there is wrong or right, there's evil and there's good. In the spirit world, things are as is. Whatever that needs to happen would happen. So when we are at that level, then we also make agreements with who are the people or the mates we need or circumstances or situation we require to remind us of our soul contracts. Are people following me? Are you guys following me?
A lot.
You know? Yes. So, to fulfill our soul purpose, because everybody we are attracting is somebody who is coming to remind us of what we've signed up for. And this is where soulmate come into. If you heard people say, oh, you are my soulmate, thinking that person is their everything. In that particular moment and that time that you are relating or in a relationship with them, yes, the world might revolve around them because it's asking you to pay attention and be present to the relationship in order for you to learn the life lessons you need to learn to evolve to your highest level of consciousness, which is where you're going to attain your soul purpose. So we have more than one soulmates. There are soulmates. They are not all romantic. Romantic is where we actually then have intimacy, and intimacy at a physical level, because some relationships are intimate but not physical. So then we attract friends, we attract colleagues, we attract even family members who are our soulmates that help us and evolve to our highest level of consciousness or fulfill our soul purposes. And amongst that, there's also different types that we are also gifted with, because we need to have gifts, we need to have tools, or tools that are going to help us to fulfill this mission that it's been placed on our path by creator and creator energies. For me ngizoti umdali nabogogo nabomkhulu. So we are gifted to those people to help us those things. So there are people who are also called kindred spirits. So kindred spirits are people who are really passive in your life. They're there as a support system. You are vibrating at the same level of energy as them. So if umuntu negative, abantu aba negative empilweni yakho, they are your kindred spirits, because it's like attract like. So they support whatever that you are, but they're passive, they're not very active. Ugabona lo mngani uthi, yo, this one has done this, nifuyiwe kube idrama. Those type of people, those are kindred spirits. They can also be your friends, your colleagues, or your loved ones. And then there's what we also call twin flames. Oh Lord, have mercy on the twin flames, because that one is a deeper connection than your soulmate, because it flames up. This is it's another part of you. You don't share the same soul, because souls are unique identity codes to the physical. And then at spirit level, that's where we want. At soul, there is a unique identity code of specific individual soul purposes that we need to fulfill. So your twin flame is another part of you at a spirit level that has incarnated. So you came together and you split, but sometimes your twin flame remains in the spirit world and doesn't come. And those connections are deep and they're intense. This is where the intensity of it is like you are typing a message and a person types a message at the same time as you. You say something and you send it at the same amount of time. You say good morning and then they say good morning to you too, around the same time, where a lot of things that happen synchronizes a lot, right? So soulmates are deep, but they are deep and they involve a lot of pain and a lot of trauma. Because why is that? Because they are here to wake us up. So we don't wake up from just lovey-dovey. We wake up from this heart. So when you found a soulmate is when you feel like the love is deep, or you are deeply invested in that person, either a friend, either a family member, either a lover. So when you are with your soulmate, you give it your all, because in giving it your all, that's where the lessons are. And with soulmate relationships, let me tell you, they are hard to let go of and move on, because you haven't learned the lesson yet. And your soul will continue attracting similar people until you learn the lesson you need to learn to move to the next level of your soul contract, the next level of your level of consciousness. Because if you are not learning the lesson, uzohlezi attract abantu abafanayo, and then ube ngathi unebhati or unesichitho or bakuthakathile. It's because you as an individual are not saying, what am I needing to learn? Why did I attract such a person? And with soulmates, you can find yourself that you're a very great, positive, vibrant person, but you attract a negative person and an energy vampire, because they are teaching you to be wary. They are teaching you to own your own power and your own courage. I know for myself, I attract a lot of negative soulmates who are forcing me to say, Dineo, stand firm in your power. You don't need to be afraid of it, because you're afraid that you'll be egotistic. So you'll find that people that you attract are those who come with strong power and who overly assert themselves over you, that you might feel like when you are in a relationship with them. But if you don't learn the lesson, you'll always attract those people. So some of those soulmate relationships can be very aggressive and they can be violent. You're welcome to ask me questions so I don't feel like I'm preaching alone, because remember, it's a conversation that we're having together, and I might not have, if I don't know what you're asking me, I'll say I do not know. I really appreciate these conversations, because for me, so also how I cultivate wisdom, because you need to cultivate it, right? Wisdom is based on experiences, is that I look at my own life as the greatest teacher. When I experience things, I first experience it, and then I go into the emotion, and emotion is energy in motion. Then I shift the emotion into what is the lesson that I needed to learn. So everything that I encounter, especially around relationship, they are my greatest teachers. Then I say, oh, this is what I need to learn. But I also read a lot, because reading again expands your worldview and it deepens your understanding of why things happen the way that they do. So every time I have these conversations, I'm reading. I need to read. I need to feed my spirit so that my spirit can feed you. Do we have questions?
Awesome, cool. There's one from Lebo Ari. What do you do when you feel overwhelmed by your journey, where it also affects your partner, the sadness and all other negative emotions?
Well, the thing is, if you don't do anything, if you know that you've got a journey to take, but you don't actually take the steps, to take the journey, and you need to do what you need to do to take the steps, because if you are not aligned with self, how are you then going to align with the other? And people also ask me, because it's going to be a common question, Guti. One is, why do people who are spiritually gifted fall so hard and so deeply? Because love is a healing energy. That's why we fall so deeply and so hard. Because the essence of who we are is to heal and make well what is not well. So when we give of ourselves, we give ourselves fully, and then we love so deeply. Also, why is it difficult for people who are healers sometimes to be in concrete, solid relationships? Not always that healers are abakhontona relationships ngoba ugogo wakho akafuni ngoba bekangashadanga or bekangagananga or umkhulu wakho. At times it's because when we are out of sync and are out of tune within ourselves, it is very difficult for our souls to connect with the other. Because when we are connecting with the other out of sync and out of tune, then that's when a lot of negativity, as Lebu has asked, that starts to surface rather than positivity in the relationship. Because remember, when you are called to make well what is not well, when you're called to heal, the journey begins with inward healing first. It begins with yourself. So the healing happens with yourself first before healing can happen with the other. So when you are aligned and have healed your own self, and you can be in a healthy, good relationship with yourself, you are then able to attract good and healthy relationships with other people. I hope I'm making sense.
Gogo Dineo Sibaitsing Ari Gogo. So my boyfriend for 3 years and still present now, both went through the journey Yagutwasa. So I once dreamed Butsiwa. In the dream I was told to wear a green dress Nazareth and him a coat with a white cross at the back. So the relationship is sometimes rocky as we break up and get back together ever since. Because of this, I don't know if he's my soulmate or not. Please help.
Okay, so remember I said soulmates are not necessarily your life partners, because they also come for a particular period to serve a particular purpose, to wake your soul up to that moment. It could have been that you have attracted your partner because you were also gifted and you were not aware. So through them embracing their own gifts, it revealed to you that you were also gifted, because people that we attract are also our mirrors. So when people agitate you, understand that there's aspects of yourself that is agitated about yourself. So when you find somebody too arrogant, maybe you don't want to embrace your own confidence, or you've got confidence issues, for example. So I can't say that to you definitely, oh, he's a soulmate. Remember, guys, I'm not a psychic, so I won't just read and give answers and solutions online. So if it could have shown you, Guti, there was something that you needed to do together to actually align in order for you guys to have a fruitful relationship. Because I know this is going to come later on. Abantu abaguma relationship, if you were in a relationship, why uhlanganiswa with a particular person when they come back from a person? Because remember, this person has went through a reawakening and a rebirth of a process. So they're no longer just Dineo, they are Dineo nabantu lababaga Dineo. So menhlanganisa, we're actually creating another alignment process, so that even lo mkhulu lo bekangaganiwe akhona uku-understand ukuthi leli gojwana lakhe eluwu-Dineo is in a relationship with somebody else. So mkhulu sukubikela lo muntu ukuthi ungamangali ukuthi lo sekafika manje sekafuna lo mzimba wena that uhlaliseke kuwo, this body that you have found a home and you found solace in. They are not here to take you away. They're actually here to fulfill the needs of Dineo, the physical. But it doesn't mean that you cannot also fulfill your needs as Iklozi through that person. I hope it's making sense. Nice.
A lot of people, they're just saying we'll come back. They need to and then Lebo says Thokoza Mkhulu for the explanation. Yeah,
yes. Msize, on
Okay.
Instagram questions.
So most people, well, they're waving, but then there's King Vuyelwa. Ati Kamaku Gogo, blessing us with your own knowledge. Thank you. And then, okay, the others were saying that Silalele and Londlo. God, sorry. Mamu Taung Likwen Argogo, I need advice, but she didn't go to details.
Okay,
What
ask for
advice?
And I know sometimes when I talk, I'm very
And then they said,
captivating.
twin flames, please.
Yes. So people would say that I did say a bit about twin flames, and you only have one twin flame. You don't have more than one, because remember, a twin is like another half of you. And with these kind of relationships, there's what we call past life lovers. I do believe that we come more than once sometimes. I believe as Dineo, this is my last time on earth. That's why I know which I'm gonna live for 100 years. I don't believe I know, because I am here to fulfill. Mina ngizoba nedlozi oliphahlayo elihleli laphaya that helps create things, not elizobuya lukuhluphe lifuna ukungena. So ungathi 100 years later uthi yes ngene ugogo ngabe igama lami uDineo zabe sekafulfillile uzophahla uDineo ucela izinhlanhla ucela protection ucela izinto ezimhlophe. But I know that I've lived along many lives, and that's why people say you sound so wise, because I'm an old soul. So an old soul is one, it's a soul that has lived many lives, comes back to reincarnate because there's incomplete things that they have not completed.
Yes.
And then therefore you're going to attract soulmates. Some of those soulmates is you've met them before in your past life. They've come back. You know, the dangers of past life relationships is because most of them have not ended very well, and you've come back to settle the score in this lifetime. And if the other soul has not evolved its own consciousness yet, it might end even more deadly than it did in the past life. So you find that you get into a relationship with somebody, it ignites the flames. But it's flames. The person is showing you flames. But the minute it hits a challenge, like umuntu ushentsha ngenye into ongayi-understand ukuthi manje wena soyinhlobo ini yepende, because mina I knew because that triggers past memories of what you guys had together. And ungathola ukuthi in your past life the other one hits the other deeply, but you have come together because you need to settle. And if you find yourself in a relationship that is toxic, and what do I mean by toxicity, where every time that you are in relationship with that person,